So this is the balcony setup. I'm talking low so that I won't be bothering the neighbors. This is only temporary. I'll switch on the plants in case I need to change something. The sun is quite good here, as you can see. This is the village chief red dragon Armani. There's one purpurata. Probably going to put it forward. Some has gotten a little bit burned yesterday. I did drop a shade cloth on them, but it was a bit too late. Nevertheless, they seem to be enjoying this. So I have these old shells here. Later on, when I know that how I want to keep this, I'll buy something new. Now it's just to learn how this works. So there are plants all over the floor as well, as you can see. But this is going to be interesting this summer. So the sun is not yet up on the plants. It's only coming through that opaque glass which is there, as you can see. That's and it's 9 o'clock and it's over 50% humidity in here, and the temperature is only 21 degrees Celsius. So this little one, it's the smallest, and that's what I bought last year from Schwerte, and it's called Upatuba. Don't know where the name comes from. It's a bit dehydrated, as you can see. It's because this pot seems to be drying too fast, and it's quite vigorous. As you can see, it has 2 new growths, and that was the previous ones had 2 new growths as well. So this seems to be growing quite fast. I think I need to actually repot it maybe this month, maybe next month. I have to see when the root starts poking out. It's just because I don't want to be watering it that often during the winter, and it was really, I could see that it did suffer during the winter time when I really didn't have time to actually water it. And this blackening here is actually me getting it burned yesterday. So this is quite dark, and I'm hoping to get it to grow this summer a bit more. And then the next one. So this one I bought from Rolke, and it's a cross with 2 variety. So there is the Roseliana and Rosa Concolor, and Rolke isn't anymore Rolke. I think it's nowadays Equa Genera European part, and it was a little bit dehydrated because I did forget to. Oh well, I didn't have time to actually water them that well during the winter, and the media got a bit bad at one point before I actually reported it, and now it's pushing out new growth there, and I do believe that's, yeah, if you can see, it's quite good, the size of the base of that new growth, so it should be becoming bigger. I know it does have a lot of empty space on that end of the pot, but that was just because of I had like 1 or 2 pseudobulbs here, and they just withered away, I guess because this didn't have that good root system. Now it's in bigger bark, and there is some sphagnum moss inside there, and it's outside as well, enjoying the sun. So this is the from last year purchase as well. This came a bit bigger, as you can see. It did have that, and that did get burnt as well surprisingly. I was too lazy to cover them for the first day. And this one is Cattleya, and it has the cherry color. That's means cherry. And its newest growth is not that big as it could be. As you can see, the biggest one is here. But I think it's just because I actually reported it in the middle of the winter when this one started growing new roots, and I'm hoping it to bounce back for the next year. Anyway, it's not doing that bad, at least. It's not doing better. Okay, and then let's take a look at the biggest one. Strange, I actually have been buying these from different vendors, so that was Lucca, and this one, I think it was, yes, Karke. So this is the purpurata Graciata cross with Rada concolor, as well as some sort of concolor, which is this one color. And here you can actually see how good root productors are these. So this one is 17 centimeters pot, and it's already filling it up nicely. The past two growths has been with the 2, so these grew during last year winter. They finished off winter, and these started this spring. As you can see, they are not that well, they could be. This one is better, this one is not, and that's actually because I didn't water them well enough while they were growing. And so this one, I think it's bigger than its previous pseudobulb, so I guess it's doing good when there's like 2 new growths growing. I assume these pseudobulbs are too thin, so I guess I should be feeding them more with orchid fertilizer. I didn't feed them that well last winter, so I guess these are going to be quite thin as well. And I don't believe we have any. Nope. Sorry about the lighting. I'm trying to adjust it at some point, but there is nothing growing in there, as you can see. I think there's only happy sap because it's outside now. I don't think that's going to grow any flowers as well. So no flowers this time either. So these are my Cattleya purpuratas, and I'm trying to get this bloom at some point. I'm not sure what I need to do differently. I need to figure it out. I just hope that this new place is actually going to give it more vigor. If you look at these bases, I would say that this is actually now growing bigger than the other ones. If you see, they are quite thin, so I guess that's actually a good thing. Even though they are, this is not that tall, they are growing thicker. I'm not sure how it's going to be when it finishes off with these growths. Let's see. Okay, I'll put this back and let's have discussion about how I'm growing them. So mine are in organic media. I just feel I like it better. Of course, there is inorganic as well. I just have used to organic ones, so I'm using it. I do pipe down the fertilizer during the winter time when I actually give them something like 100 ppm or 150 ppm, maybe once a month if I remember. It might be that I don't remember and they are without. And so these are during summertime I'll try to give them more fertilizer. I start pumping up the amount until 300 ppm. Unfortunately, this winter or spring I didn't start that early. I just gave them something like a pure water, and I hope they have been doing all right. Don't know, let's see. And what else? So mine are well, some of them are small and they haven't bloomed yet, none of them. I hope this year, maybe next year, I'll get some blooms out of these. And I moved apartment after last summer, so this has been first winter in this current apartment, and I have to adjust a bit the growing media so that they won't dry out that fast. It's really dry, it's really warm. I get like 22, 23 degrees during the winter time, so these might take a little break of growing, but then they just resume the growth, and it's kind of like there isn't any winter. And outside, now that I've been keeping them outside in the balcony, it is glazed. However, there is some gaps between the glazing, so it's not actually keeping the warmth inside. Now that it has, the evenings have become a bit warmer, I've been able to actually put this outside, and the humidity is around 60 or 50% during the nights, depending if it has rained previous day or during the night, then it might actually jump higher. And during the daytime, it's around 40%. And the temperature goes, well, when it goes around 17 or 16 degrees, I usually take these inside. I don't want to freeze them. Currently, the night temperatures are close to 20, so it's not that big of a deal or issue for me, so that I would have to bring them in every evening. And during the daytime, it grows, it goes, if it's sunny, because it's south-facing balcony, it goes up to 30, 35 degrees. So these are actually getting quite nice heat during the days, if it's actually completely sunny. And as you can see, I need to have sheer curtain on them. They have this 40% shade net on them during the daytime, and when the leaves starts to become warmer, and I need to actually get them covered. That's about it. I honestly don't have anything else to actually tell you. I would say that these require so much water in my environment that I would need to actually repot them every every 1.5 years, I would say. I just don't seem to be able to actually keep them that moist that long time in the same pot. The repotting isn't that difficult. Some say that it's really difficult, but I always check when the new roots are coming, and I try to be as gentle as I can, so that I'm not touching the roots when I'm cleaning them up, and I have actually gloves on when I'm cleaning them up. Okay, I think that's about it from me. I hope somebody actually has them flowering, so we can actually see some lovely purpurata blooms, and I'll say goodbye for this time.